So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for coming on to this video. So as always, starting off with the match stats. So for this game we did win 5-1. We had 60% possession overall with 15 shots versus 6 from the opposition. And how the game went was they did score one goal, or the first goal as such, in the first half. And then the second half we did score 5 goals, so it was a turnaround from our side. We weren't as decisive with our shooting within the first half side of things, but we completely turned it around, and you can see how we scored the goals in the second half. It was a great team performance. We are looking at controlling the ball, hence why we have had, let's say, 60% possession, and we've been focusing on really retaining and passing and controlling the play within the team side of things. And with the games that we were playing yesterday, for example, consistently we had over 60% possession in nearly all of the games, with passing over 80% accuracy. So great to see from the team, as we are looking at going into the Pro League side of things. So it's just a practice and the chemistry that we're trying to build with the team, as well as consistent players that we have playing in those positions that we need to. And just to give you highlights of how the match went, as well as the lineup from the team that we had. So from our side of things, in goal, we didn't have anyone. It was just an AI goalkeeper. As right back, it was Adams, who's usually our goalkeeper. Centre backs was again myself and Sergio. Left back was Neymar. CDM was TP. We had right centre mid as well as left centre mid as Yejor and Thiago. We had the Cam as Quakes, who I feel is really ideal for our striking position. He's been playing fantastic yesterday when we were playing as a team. Same with X. Both of these two were very clinical as our strikers. And then we've got Gengar as well as X in this game as the strikers. So overall, a great game from our side of things. Man of the match for this was Gengar, who had one goal with an 8.3 rating. I also had one goal as well, which is funnily enough the third goal. I usually block off the goalkeeper so my centre-back partner Sergio could get the goals and header it in, because he's got really good consistent goal scoring record from corners, as well as just general, let's say, set piece plays. He's got very good heading accuracy as well as jumping. I can't jump to save my life, man, but this man just loves scoring. So I do what I can in terms of like blocking the goalkeeper or like distracting other players, just so he could focus on scoring. But again, the way that the game went, the first goal was from Gengar, straight from the second half when we kicked off. Again, we were 1-0 down, but we counter-attacked and, did score and bring it back to 1-1. And then Neymar scored the second goal. Really good pass from Yejor, which allowed him to shoot first time. Third goal, as mentioned, was from myself, the GOAT. Fourth goal was from Quake. It was a rebound shot from Thiago. So again, that clinicalness of, being in that position if it does rebound and getting that goal in. So well done to that. And the fifth from X to Yejor, and that was a great goal from Yejor. So again, a great team effort, as we are looking at keeping consistency within our performance. Yesterday when we were playing, we had around 15 games in total that we played, and we won all 15. And it was just a great performance from the boys. The team that we had yesterday was just really, really good, and the flow of football that we were playing, the counter-attack and the pressing, was really beautiful to see. And we had average goals of around like 3 to 4 in every single game. And in those 15 games that we scored, 15 games that we played yesterday, we did score in all of them around like 3+ as mentioned. But then consistency in terms of like clean sheet as well, we had around like 6 clean sheets or 7 clean sheets. So again, the ratio for that was great for the boys. So defensively, plus attacking wise, we played very well. So GG's to the boys, great to see. And there's some really good videos coming up as well, which I will be posting. There's going to be a CDM build that I'm going to be doing, because sometimes I do filter or rotate from like a centre back, which is my primary position that you guys do see and watch, as well as CDM as well. I do have some clips and highlights that we were playing yesterday, and I did perform quite well. But again, it's always hard to find like games nowadays, especially with the summer holiday for schools and FIFA 23 just around the corner, to find like teams that have full like not even 11 but just human players. Like yesterday, for example, we were finding games where we're having like 5 human players in the opposition team, or even 4, and it was really tough to get like the full let's say full 11, especially as we were we were there with full 11 players. But again, I don't know, it's one of those ones where the games tend to die down, especially FIFA tends to, when the game or the new season game is going to be coming with FIFA 23 just around the corner. But no, overall, we're happy with the performance that we played. 15 games as mentioned yesterday with 15 wins. Overall, we had average 3+ goals and very minimal, I think 1.42 concessions, like conceded goals. So, a great team performance, and hope you guys enjoy this game as well. And what we're really going to be talking about today, guys, is, the predictions for football. We had the likes of Crystal Palace versus Arsenal yesterday, kicking off the Premier League season for 2022 to 2023. And it's always going to be a great battle, especially like a London derby as such, with Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. And I did share it within my last video, like my predictions and what I hoped for to see, with the likes of Arsenal as well as Crystal Palace. And I did predict that Arsenal would win 2-1. I thought it was going to be both teams to score. I didn't watch the game, I just watched the highlights on YouTube, but, easily Crystal Palace should have scored, man. It should have been both teams to score. I think Easy, I don't know what his name is, the shot went to Ramsdale instead of actually curling it in on the right, which was a beautiful pass, by the way, from Saha. But again, that was, a unfortunate loss from Crystal Palace. They are usually very strong at home, but Arsenal, with a new look team, with all the acquisitions that they made, it's always good to see how they're doing. Zinchenko with the assist already, with this, let's say, Arsenal debut, let's say, in the Premier League side of things for the Arsenal team, to Martinelli, who scored the header. Second goal was unfortunate that, Saha's shot was deflected by Guehi, I always say his name wrong, the captain for Crystal Palace. But again, Arsenal, the way that Jesus was playing, very good dribbling, very good strength. Saliba as well, I've been hyping this guy up, even like from a previous video when I uploaded it before the Arsenal game, like he is one of the players to watch in the defensive side of things for Arsenal. He's been at Arsenal now for like 3 years, since 2019, but it was unfortunate for him because the managers weren't really giving him the trust. Yes, he was a bit young by, the age that they signed him. He's now 21 years old, again a very youthful player still, and a very, strong player in his position as a centre-back. With the teams that he was going out for loan, you've got the likes of Saint-Étienne, you've got Nice, you've got Marseille, his previous club that he just came back from loan. He played so well with Marseille. He was voted the League One's Young Player of the Year, which is a great little feat for him, especially at the age of 20. But not even that, he had 19 clean sheets in 52 games that he played for last season in Marseille. So a great, not even an asset in the defensive side of things. I think it's good that Arteta's given the trust to him to be able to play in that position, because again, the previous managers weren't giving him that certain trust. They were loaning him out or whatever the case was. But again, now he's coming in, settling into that position that he is. He could either play as a centre-back or even as a right-back. But no, I think that'll be a good little, let's say, sight to see how he plays in this season with Saliba. I think that'll be one to watch, especially in the defensive side of things. I know we've got the likes of, Koulibaly now being joined up. We've got Botman in Newcastle. We've got like Carlos in Aston Villa. So you've got all of these defensive players. This is just going to be really good to see. And of course, you've got the GOAT Maguire. That's the absolute GOAT that we know of for the defence side of things. But no, good win for Arsenal. I think, it's a great little game for them, especially the pre-season results that they've had, and they've gone along and, kept a clean sheet as well. They could have scored much more, they were just unfortunate, but again, it's just the first game of the season. Let's just see how it goes. But, I was also watching their Amazon Prime series that they have on All or Nothing or whatever it is. Spursy's had it for a while back as well. I think Liverpool done it ages ago, but then they stopped because I feel that there's some sort of juju magic or some sort of like bad omen when you do this Amazon Prime All or Nothing. Like, you're either gonna win nothing at all, and that's what's happened with all the clubs that have unfortunately been on this program or series. So no, I think it's always good to see how they do like the philosophy side of things, the coaching style, and Arteta, honestly, hands down, I think it's going to be really good to see how he integrates this Arsenal team. His philosophy as well as ideations are very, very good, and his style of play and planning is just beautiful to see. So, with Saka, for example, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, he actually went to the same school as me. Greenford High School in West London, that's where I was born and raised. I was in, a higher year than him. I was never in the same, let's say, time frame when I would have seen him in school. But again, it's fantastic to see someone that's come from literally the same school as me to be playing for first team as Arsenal. So, I always tend to rep Arsenal whenever I can as a second team. Just because, they've got Saka, plus whenever I used to work for my previous company, we had a hospitality box, funnily enough, in the Arsenal was it exec box area. So whenever I used to take my clients for work, we used to go there. I used to, of course, go for free and, you know, entertain the clients as such, but the matches were absolutely insane, and plus the vibes as well. So Arsenal's always been like a second team for me, but as you all know, Liverpool's my first team. And you know, Liverpool's going to be playing today against Fulham. They're going to be playing away they're going to be at Craven Cottage at Fulham Stadium today at 12:30. By the time I upload this video, once it's rendered as well as uploaded, because like now it's 10:30, I won't have time to actually like be able to upload it prior to the game itself. So I'm just going to give you my prediction in advance, plus the other predictions for the games today as well. But for the Fulham versus Liverpool game, I do think it's going to be 3-0 to Liverpool. You know, I think it's one of those ones where Liverpool tend to start very strong with their first games, and they always seem to have like the newly promoted teams as their first game of the season. So no, I think it's going to be a great little game for Liverpool. I think hopefully Nunes could start up. You know, he did score the goal against Man City, being brought on around the 65th minute and scoring that header goal, plus, you know, giving that penalty opportunity as well for Salah to score on as well. So I think that'll be a good little run for him to see how he, you know, just again, game time as well, to see how he molds in with the team. Of course, it does take time to adapt to a certain team. It always does. So, you know, I'm not fully expecting him to play, but it'll be good to see him, you know, start his first, let's say, official 90 minutes in the Premier League with us against the likes of Fulham, where they are a newly promoted team. We did poach Carvalho from these guys as well. Carvalho, for me, you know, is going to be an absolute go-to of a signing. 5 million, I think he's 18 or 19 years old. I can't remember from the top of my head. He's such a good youth prospect. Like his dribbling, his vision, his passing. He reminds me of like Coutinho. And I think, you know, honestly, he's going to be a player to watch this season if he does get regular game time. Even the likes of Elliott as well. Like, these guys have like a Foden type of vibe, the way that Elliott and Foden type, you know, they play. But again, like with Carvalho, I'm very pleased that we've bought him. And again, we needed that acquisition in the midfield side of things, more like a youth representation as we look at building and, you know, building that youthful side of things and bringing them over to the first team for the future. But no, with Liverpool 3-0, I don't know who's going to be the goal scorers. I don't know who the lineup's going to be. I think it's going to be a very strong lineup. You've got Konate that unfortunately is still injured, so you've got Matip that's going to be playing as the lineup. I think it's going to be exactly the same lineup that we saw against Man City, apart from maybe Firmino being swapped for Nunes. But again, Alisson unfortunately is out injured. He's not going to be back, I think, till the next game. But no, I think Adrian did have a good game again against Man City. He made some very good, you know, shot-stopping saves against Man City, against the likes of like Haaland as well. So no, I think, you know, I do trust Adrian to do a good job for Liverpool today, and hence why I've said it's going to be 3-0 with a clean sheet for Liverpool. And then you've got the likes of other fixtures today, such as like Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. You know, Aston Villa with Stevie G. Aston Villa over the past couple of seasons have done well. It's just been unfortunate that they've sold some key players, such as like Grealish, for example, as well. But they have made some really good defensive signing. You know, Carlos from Sevilla, who's always been a brick in the likes of like FIFA and Football Manager, with like his peak attribute being like around 20 defense. Again, based on like the correct team if he was to go for one within the Football Manager scene. But, you know, within Aston Villa, they've got a good team. They've got Coutinho, they've had some really good striking pairs. And they've always been a team to watch, let's say, with their competitiveness. And I do think it's going to be 2-0 to Aston Villa. And then Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. You know, Nottingham Forest have made a lot of acquisitions with players. Like, a lot, man. They've got, like, Nico Williams. They've got Omar Richards. They've got Lingard. They've got Henderson, who's actually coming from loan from Manchester United. But again, they've created that depth within the team which they needed, and it's going to drive that competition as well within the inner side of things for the club. And, you know, with them, I do see them staying up. I do see them being positioned around, like, mid-table. Just, you know, with the manager as well, he's done a fantastic job for them in the Championship and the way that they progressed over. And it's always good to have, you know, have another team that's won the European title, because, you know, you got the likes of, you know, Arsenal as well as Man City that haven't won it. So, pure banter. But no, I think, you know, in my opinion, Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest will be the game of the day. I think it's going to be 2-2. Newcastle really haven't made that many new acquisitions apart from the likes of, let's say, Botman as well as Pope. So they've, let's say, reinforced the defensive side of things. I did hope that they would have made like more acquisitions, especially with the amount of money that they have to spend from their owners. I think it was surprising that, you know, you got the likes of Arsenal that have spent more, as well as the big boy clubs like Manchester United or wherever the cases are. But, you know, you've got all of these big boy clubs that have spent a lot of money, but Newcastle that have got new owners, they haven't spent money. But again, I don't think they need to spend that much money, because Eddie Howe, when he did take them over around whenever it was the second half of the season, they had the second most points or the best form out of any other club within the season. Like Liverpool, of course, were first within the second half of the season based on like the form, the wins, and just the general, let's say, form and the consistency that they had. Newcastle came second, so let's see what happens with Newcastle, and maybe they do look into, let's say, the January market and be like, okay, well, we did mess up in summertime, but let's make some acquisitions. But I think it'll be really interesting to see where Newcastle are going to be positioned. I was hopeful that they would be positioned above, let's say, United, but I don't know. And then you got Spurs Southampton 3-1, you got Leeds versus Wolves 1-1 that I predict, and then Everton versus Chelsea 0-1. I'm just a bit conscious about time, guys, apologies about that, but I'll put the predictions in the comments down below on this video. Do let me know what your thoughts are, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Take care, and bye-bye. To do exactly that and Haaland to score. We just need to do exactly that as well, boys. Nice, well done. Second